to the Open Scoring MMA podcast. No secrets, no bias, just the real fight game. Let's get ready.
Welcome to Open Scoring MMA. This is episode 37 for July 26, 2026. Your daily look at what's happening now and next across the world of MMA and UFC. Magomed Ankalaev isn't letting up on Alex Pereira. After his win at UFC Abu Dhabi, Ankalaev called out Pereira, and the light heavyweight division is buzzing with the back and forth. Pereira had previously asked if Ankalaev was still alive, a jab that clearly landed. Now, Ankalaev isn't only responding, but demanding a trilogy fight with Pereira. This is a fascinating development because while Ankalaev secured a TKO victory over Bogdan Guskov in the main event of UFC Abu Dhabi, the fight itself was, let's be honest, a bit of a stinker. Guskov seemed to stop fighting halfway through, playing defense more than offense, which didn't do much for Ankalaev's reputation as a sometimes boring fighter. But the call-out of Pereira, a former two-division champion, shows Ankalaev is aiming for the top. He's making it clear he wants the biggest names and the biggest challenges, and a trilogy with Pereira would certainly be a massive fight for the division. It also suggests that Ankalaev isn't just looking for a title shot, but a specific, high-profile opponent to prove his dominance. The light heavyweight division is definitely in a weird place right now, as Daniel Cormier put it. And this kind of rivalry could be exactly what it needs to inject some excitement. Speaking of the light heavyweight division, we're hearing that Carlos Ulberg has some interesting ideas about who should be next in line for a shot at the strap. Ulberg, fresh off watching the fights in Abu Dhabi, reportedly suggested that Magomed Ankalaev should fight Yuri Prohaska to determine his next challenger. Ulberg even went a step further, proposing a light heavyweight tournament instead of an interim title fight. He told Yahoo Sports MMA, quote, "After last night's fights, here's my thoughts," end quote. This is a bold move, essentially trying to play matchmaker for the division. It shows Ulberg is engaged and thinking strategically about the landscape. A tournament would certainly be a unique way to crown a #1 contender, especially given the current state of the division, where several top contenders are vying for position. It'd also guarantee some high-stakes, exciting matchups. Whether the UFC brass goes for a tournament or just a single contender fight, Ulberg is making sure his voice is heard in the conversation. And the PFL lightweight champion Usman Nurmagomedov is making some serious waves with his coach, Mendez, claiming he could beat every single UFC lightweight, including Justin Gaethje and Islam Makhachev. Nurmagomedov, a Dagestani fighter, recently defeated Paul Hughes to secure the PFL lightweight title. Mendez told Bloody Elbow, quote, "I think Nurmagomedov matches up well with every one of the top UFC lightweights. Every single one of them. And in my opinion, he beats them all." End quote. That's a massive claim, and it speaks to the confidence his team has in his abilities. While he's currently in the PFL, this kind of talk inevitably fuels speculation about a potential move to the UFC down the line. Imagine a PFL champion coming over and immediately challenging the top of the UFC's stacked lightweight division. That'd be a storyline for the ages. It's a testament to the talent outside the UFC that coaches are so confident their fighters could dominate the top names in the world's premier organization. Another PFL champion, Thad Jean, just claimed the welterweight championship with a TKO victory over late replacement Ernesto Rodriguez. This is another example of top talent emerging from other organizations. While the PFL and UFC are distinct, the success of fighters like Jean and Nurmagomedov in their respective leagues always sparks conversation about how they'd fare against UFC's best. It's a constant reminder that the talent pool in MMA is deep and constantly evolving. In other news, Borislav Nikolic has officially signed with the UFC after vacating his Brave CF bantamweight title. Nikolic had a strong run in Brave CF, including a title win and one defense. Shahid from Brave CF told Middle Easy, quote, "We congratulate him on this opportunity and thank him for the unforgettable moments he created inside our cage. While this chapter comes to a close, he should always know that Brave CF will forever be his home. We wish him nothing but success." End quote. This is a great example of a fighter earning his way to the big show. It's always exciting to see new talent come into the UFC, especially champions from other promotions. He'll be looking to make an immediate impact in the bantamweight division, which is one of the most competitive in the UFC. Khamzat Chimaev is ready to return to the octagon, saying he's just waiting for the UFC to give him a fight. He's even calling out Sean Strickland, saying he's waiting for Strickland to come out of his house. Chimaev has been a dominant force whenever he's fought, and his return will be highly anticipated. He's one of those fighters who brings an undeniable energy and excitement to any card he's on. The middleweight division is always looking for fresh matchups, and Chimaev versus Strickland would certainly be a barn burner. It's clear Chimaev is eager to get back in there and continue his climb up the ranks. Magomed Chanko Zainukov made quite the statement after his UFC debut win in Abu Dhabi, immediately taking aim at Ilia Topuria. Mocking the featherweight champion was the first thing on Zainukov's mind. This is the kind of confidence and call-out that gets attention. A fighter making his debut and immediately targeting a champion shows he's not here to play games. It's a bold move, and it'll be interesting to see if Topuria responds, or if Zainukov can continue to build momentum to back up his talk. We also saw a remarkable performance from Walter Walker at UFC Abu Dhabi. He tied a modern record by securing his 5th straight submission victory. Only 2 names in modern history have had 5 straight submissions, and Walker is now one of them. That's an incredible feat and speaks to his grappling prowess. He's definitely a fighter to watch in the heavyweight division, and his ability to finish fights on the ground makes him a dangerous opponent for anyone. Steve Garcia recently reflected on his heartbreaking loss to 2-time title challenger Diego Lopez on the historic UFC White House card. Garcia described a conversation with his son afterward that broke him. It's a tough reminder of the emotional toll this sport takes on fighters, not just physically, but mentally. Garcia had a huge opportunity against a higher-ranked opponent, and while the result wasn't what he wanted, his honesty about the experience is something many fans can relate to. It shows the human side of these incredible athletes. And in a moment of reflection, Mike Davis apologized to Nurullo Aliyev after criticizing his opponent following their decision fight at UFC Abu Dhabi. Davis told Middle Easy, quote, "At Nurullo Aliyev, hopefully you see this. I understand you were being a nice guy in the end. Amazing sportsmanship," end quote. He added, quote, "In the heat of the moment, I was/am severely disappointed in myself," end quote. It's good to see a fighter take a step back and apologize for comments made in the heat of the moment. The emotions run high after a fight, and it's easy to say things you might regret. This shows a level of maturity and respect from Davis. Nora, we've got a PFL lightweight champ, Usman Nurmagomedov, whose coach is out here saying he beats every single UFC lightweight. Every single one, including Islam Makhachev. That's a bold claim even for a coach. What do the numbers say about that kind of crossover potential?
Duke, it's difficult to quantify directly. Our model, and frankly any objective model, can only analyze performance within the context of the competition faced. While Nurmagomedov has an impressive record in the PFL, the strength of schedule and the overall depth of talent in the UFC lightweight division are demonstrably higher. So while the coach's confidence is understandable, the data simply isn't there to support such a sweeping statement against the UFC's top tier.
So it's a gut feeling versus the data then, because my gut says that's a huge leap, but you've got to respect the confidence, right? It makes you want to see it happen.
Absolutely. The what-if factor is compelling, and it's precisely why these cross-promotional discussions generate so much interest. But from a predictive standpoint, it's an unmeasurable hypothetical at this stage.
Fair enough. You're always so precise. But I'm still holding out hope for some of these PFL guys to make the jump and really shake things up. Imagine the chaos.
Indeed. The potential for new rivalries and fresh matchups is always a positive for the sport.
Now, let's talk about the upcoming fight cards. And for our OSM pick of the day, our system has its eye on a women's strawweight bout featuring Stephanie Luciano. Our model is picking Stephanie Luciano to win with about a 78% chance. The market implies a 71% chance, so we're seeing a bit more confidence in Luciano than the market. This is a value pick for us. The top reasons for this pick are that the physical attributes favor Luciano, and her recent form has been very strong. We've got a strong confidence level on this one, so keep an eye on Stephanie Luciano. And finally, the MMA community on Reddit is having a field day with the weekly recap. Always a good place to catch up on all the chatter and hot takes from the past week's action. It's a great way to see what's got everyone talking. That's all for today's Open Scoring MMA. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and analysis. Before you go, 2 quick things. Check out our free fight tracker at tracker.openscoringmma.com with every upcoming UFC and PFL card, live odds, and where to watch, all in one place. And follow us on YouTube. Just search Open Scoring MMA for breaking news alerts, fight breakdowns, and videos you won't get here on the feed. That's it for today's Open Scoring MMA. Keep your hands up, and we'll see you next time.